Hey, good evening. Just a quick update on the Dialed Proof by Dialed Archery and all the improvements they've made since the Arxos. I will say that they have addressed most concerns on this site, and I think it's a really good quality site. Just like with any site that I've shot before, whether it's the Spot Hog, Fast Eddie, Booney, or one of the Montana Black Golds, there's always a few nuances that you need to be aware of when setting this up. There are other videos on calibration and sight tape and your second and third axis adjustment, so no need for me to go through that. But a couple things that I learned on this site, and I learned it rather quickly. Number one is Dialed customer service is very good. No issues there. Number two, once you have used your calibration sight tape and you know which sights you're going to be shooting, you take your white calibration tape ring off, and I want you to just pay attention to where your nut and your attachment to your dial is when you remove it and when you put it back on, and that's just so you have room to actually get your wrench in and be able to tighten this down the way you need to tighten it down. So for the Hoyt RX9, in between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock is plenty of room, and gives you room to tighten down your sight tape wheel with no issues. Now, it is a little trickier on the outside, and I have not went through the trouble of removing the dial of death here, so I went old school, and what I did is I literally cut it out, and I just rolled it to 20 where I wanted it to be, and I slid it in. There's enough room to slide it in under your indicator pin, and I didn't take the white sight tape dial off at all. And the reason that I want to bring that up is it's got a screw just like the one on your outside, but because you've got your dial on this side, you can't just slide it east and west. You know, you have to roll it back around and pull the gap in between your indicator, and you can do that. So I'm not telling you that you can't, but I'm not very delicate when I do things, so I chose not to do that. And it's because the first time I did it, I really didn't understand how it worked, and I broke my dial indicator. Dialed fixed it quickly, no issues whatsoever on their customer service, and it was totally my fault, but I don't want you to make the same mistake. So when you get your sight tapes where you want, or what you decide to do on your outside wheel, and to me it's not as imported out there. In fact, I wouldn't mind leaving the calibration tape and just marking, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 where I would want it to be in the event that I needed to see that side, or if something happened on the inside while I was hunting. But I'm only a deer hunter. I don't shoot tournament archery, so for you guys, having both tapes that match is probably a little more important. I don't know, but just be careful when you pull this sight tape holding mechanism off, and don't break your indicator. One of the other things that I'll mention, and Spot Hog finally fixed this one with the Booney, is on your micro adjust. It has an arrow, but we all like to see an L or an R, so I just scratched an L for left. That way I don't have to think about it. So once I establish which way, so clockwise would be left and counterclockwise would be right, and so you could put an R or an L, or a little mark or whatever you wanted, but I just scratched an L in there. The last thing I will mention is I really do like the sight light. I just got it installed and was able to do a little deer hunt here in Georgia, and actually killed the first deer with the RX9 and the Dialed Arxos sight the other day. So no issues whatsoever there. I think a lot of people are really going to love this sight, and it's well made, and Proof looks like they're going to be around, and I hope they are. Thus far, they've been a great company. But just a few little things to pay attention to. Great site, and if I have any issues going forward, I'll post a video on it. Thank you.